all arms of the AI supply chain or market gathered here, and the three CEOs just on stage together moments ago. Our host is Michael Dell, CEO and chairman of Dell, and a company celebrating 40 years as well at this event. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang, it's good to see you, and Bill McDermott, chairman and CEO of ServiceNow. I think it's probably sensible to ask, is this the first time that the three of you have actually been in the same room at the same time? And Michael, to you as our host, why the three of you in the same room at the same time?
Well, you know, at Dell Technologies World, we love to bring our customers and partners together and talk about what's new and what's exciting. And, you know, this AI opportunity is really tremendous. And we can never do anything by ourselves, but this is a great example of how you have an ecosystem of companies coming together along with all these incredible innovations in GPUs and compute, and storage and networking, and all the AI models and software companies that are utilizing all this power. And it's causing a new industrial revolution.
There are 5 things that I would like to talk about. The first being the relationship between the three of you and your companies, how you work together. The second being AI infrastructure, how durable what's happening is. AI PC. You know, you've been talking about AI PC on social media for some time, and officially, of course, as well. US leadership. You know, I reflect that I have 3 American CEOs sat around me, all pulling towards the same sort of goal. And finally, increasingly, people ask me to ask you about power and energy consumption, and whether we should start talking about that. But really, Jensen, the origin of this, and one of the reasons I wanted to have the conversation was GTC. I'm paraphrasing, but you said basically there is no one better at end-to-end systems at scale than Dell. You basically said if you want a server, you phone Michael Dell. But why? Specifically, how is it that NVIDIA interacts with that part of Michael's business?
Well, this is a really important time. We've re-engineered and reinvented every layer of computing, from the chip to the operating system, to the system servers, to the way that these data centers are put together. There's only one company in the world that can have the ability to build the computing system, the storage system, the networking system, all of the software that goes along with it, and the path to the world's enterprise. You know, we want to bring this generative AI capability to every company in the world. And some of them can use it in the cloud, but many of the applications still has to be done on-prem. And so in order for us to bring them into the generative AI revolution, we're going to have to go through a partner that can help us take this completely new reinvention of a computer, the data center, these AI factories, and help every customer have a, you know,
just really quickly, Jensen.
Yeah.
On-prem is back. Just really quick. Yes or no?
Oh, on-prem never left.
Okay.
But on-prem never left. But on-prem is you know, on-prem is cool again.
On-prem is cool again. Save that thought. Bill, you've been a software CEO for quite a long time. Yeah. You know, I knew you at SAP, now at ServiceNow. Have you ever had to have such a focus on the minutiae of a semiconductor company, a server company? Have you ever had to worry as much about the OEM and the chip maker that underpin what you're trying to do?
Well, I think Michael Dell and Jensen Huang are at the epicenter of the AI revolution. This is enabling ServiceNow to be what I dreamt it would be, the defining enterprise software company of the 21st century. We run our whole cloud on Dell Technologies. And that's a big deal because we're talking about 4 billion workflows and 4 trillion digital transactions on that platform, running 1 million business processes around the world. With Jensen, we were the first enterprise company to recognize the greatness of Nvidia, and we began building large language models with Jensen 5 years ago. We have completely standardized on Nvidia in our company, the whole stack, and we're taking that to market with both of these men for a couple of reasons. One, they're great human beings and great leaders, and it's an honor to be here with them today and to team up with them. And two, we keep our promises. And I think customers today, when they're betting
you were doing business with them when, frankly, all of this wasn't sexy.
Totally.
And now it is.
Totally. Actually, that's 100% true. And we'll always be doing business with them because trust is the ultimate human currency, and we trust them with our lives. So that's how it rolls.
This is all very nice, and I'm very grateful and honored almost to be here with the three of you. There's a contradiction, though, that markets are often built on choice. Choice fosters competition. Competition is the mother of innovation, so the saying goes. I had the CoreWeave CEO on my show on Friday, and he was brutally honest about it. They look at other silicon, they benchmark, they look at how it might work within their system, but the reality that he painted to me, Michael, is that their clients and customers demand NVIDIA, so they give them NVIDIA. Would you say that Dell is in the same situation?
Yeah, and we do work a lot with CoreWeave, so we know about their use case. And look, I think the reason that Bill has partnered closely with NVIDIA and really NVIDIA is in a leadership position is because they've out-engineered other folks, and they've built a set of capabilities, including software, over many decades that has prepared for this opportunity. But you talked about on-prem. The other aspect of this is the edge, right? The physical world, the PC, the factory floor, all the retail stores. AI is going to be everywhere, and having that sort of entire ecosystem of capabilities, that's ultimately what's going to drive success. But NVIDIA is in a great position. Jensen's done a fabulous job bringing the world the most innovative accelerated computing solutions.
Could you define for us AI factory? What is an AI factory?
Sure. So an AI factory is really a supply chain that creates intelligence. So if you think about a traditional factory, right, you've got all these ingredients, and we know a lot about supply chains. It's kind of what we do. But think about it as a supply chain to create intelligence inside your company. And to do that, it all starts with data, right? If you have no data, you have no AI, right? If you have bad data, you have bad AI. So you got to organize your data. It's something we know a lot about because data equals storage, and we store more data than anybody in the world. So you start with the data, and then you get into the ecosystem of all the software and the models that you're hearing about, the small and large models, the retrieval augmented generation. Of course, it's not just GPUs, it's also the networking and the storage and the memory that come together.
Well, I don't know if Jen-Hsun knows this, but you talk a lot about H100's not just a chip you hold in your hand. In reality, it's DGX, right? HGX. Your staff are probably very nervous over your shoulder, but they've let me play with, let's say DGX, do a deadlift with it to illustrate the point.
80 pounds, 35,000
80
parts.
pounds, thank you. But that's the scale of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Still, the AI market that I see is you selling H100 in DGX form to the hyperscalers. And I'm not yet seeing the AI factory that's going to the SME or the enterprise customer. When does that really happen,
That's
Jensen?
why today's announcement is such a big deal.
It unlocks
I'm here to announce this Dell AI factory with NVIDIA going to market starting today. In order to do this, just think about what an AI factory is. It has CPUs and GPUs. It has networking, switches, incredible amounts of software in systems connected to storage, and the miles of cables alone necessary to build up one of these things. Well, Michael turned it into an easy bit. And so that just as Dell did early days with PCs, they're now doing this with AI factories, so that any company can come to Dell and with a specification or the requirement, they could get into the business of producing. And this is the big idea, producing intelligence at scale.
So Bill is a buyer.
It's actually already happening. And companies like ServiceNow had the engineering resources to sort of build their own with our help and capability. But now we're already doing this with hundreds of enterprise companies. And there's also some services that go into this because it's a new thing, it's a new architecture. And you saw us announce new capabilities today around storage and networking. Again, it's this whole solution. And we've created the easy button so that enterprises can kind of quickly implement and deploy these tools.
You can think about it through the lens of your customers that are themselves enterprise companies, probably of smaller size. Do you think that they are ready for this AI factory investment that they're going to have to make, essentially?
I know they are.
Okay.
You know, last week, for example, I had the pleasure of being with Microsoft and Satya. And what they're doing on Copilot, as an example, is something that every CEO is well aware of. What they're
big and small.
Big and small. And we build our own domain-specific models on the ServiceNow platform. Why does that matter? Because we're really focused on experiences. There's an $11 trillion market in terms of GDP impact over the next 3 years, according to IDC. That is how we're going to help the world economy improve. Companies like Dell Technologies and Nvidia and ServiceNow.
Yes.
But I also acknowledge your point. We have to be open. And for example, we have a great partnership with Microsoft. They're not in the room right now, but they're a great partner. You talk about them when they're not in the room, because that's very important to our customers, to have the Copilot and to have the Now Assist. We're reinventing industries with Jen-Hsun. Telecommunications was our first. You think about the networking path of a telco company. Think about service management. Think about Dell now with Now Assist and what we can do to combine that with Michael's incredible technologies. Every company in the world and every workflow for every company in every industry will be re-engineered in 24 months. This is a tsunami, Ed. This is a tsunami of change. And only the smart ones are going to recognize I have to plant the flag now. Whether the story is complete or not is not the issue. The train has moved out. It's on the fly.
So you made this analogy, I think you were channeling Jen-Hsun, but the idea is that when you stand at the platform, the train goes by fast. If you're on the train, it doesn't feel fast. I want to extrapolate out. There's something that Michael Dell's very good at, if you don't mind me saying, Michael, which is selling to businesses, the public sector, probably in places, Jen-Hsun, that you don't have experience in, probably, given that the mainstay of your business is the hyperscalers. Do you believe that Michael Dell will convince those businesses to get on the train?
No question about it.
And do you need him to?
Absolutely. We've been partnering with Michael for coming up on 3 decades. To reach the world's markets. In the old days, one of the first things that we worked on was PCs for gamers, and then PCs for industrial designers and car designers and so on and so forth. We're able to reach the world's enterprise through our partnership with Michael and partnership with Dell. And the thing that's really, really extraordinary this time is that it's not about just delivering a box, it's about delivering an entire infrastructure. And that entire infrastructure is insanely complex. The last 30 years, both of our companies have changed a lot. And he said it early, that everything that we've done has been the perfect preparation for today. If you want somebody to help you build an entire AI infrastructure, call Dell. And they'll come in. Not only do they have all the solutions and all the technologies, but they'll also have the professional services to help you stand it up and put it to work. And so we're working with Michael and Dell across everything, from CPUs to GPUs to networking to software, across the entire stack. Now, one of the things that it's so fun listening to Bill. I just sit here and just lay back. But you know, they were early in recognizing the enormous transformative capability of generative AI. ServiceNow used to be a platform of tools. Now they're going to be a platform of tools and agents that help you use those tools. They're sitting on a gold mine of opportunities so that we could have not just the tools to use to run our companies, we're going to have an AI operating system to run all of our companies with all the agents necessary to help us do that.
The next level down is the AI PC. It is here, according to today's announcement.
Yes.
I don't really even know where to start. You know, is the AI PC for the knowledge worker, or is it for every human around the world in the first instance?
You know, every time you have a new wave of technology, you've got kind of the early adopters, and at some point, you know, you inflect where there are mainstream use cases. And what's really going on right now inside companies is you had this incredible surge in buying PCs about 4 years ago with the pandemic.
That was COVID related,
right.
Yes.
And there was an enormous, we have the biggest installed base ever. And so now these organizations are getting ready to replace those older machines. And they're thinking, wow, this AI thing, maybe there's something to it, right?
That could be daunting, though. If you take Bill's position, for example, he's made all the infrastructure investment and probably software and talent investment, and now he's thinking, okay, I've got to deck out my 24,000 staff around the world with AI PCs. Is that fair?
100%. And we can't wait to do it. We're ready. We're ready to go. The other thing you got to remember, too, is the enterprise is a total mess.
You said that on stage.
Let me explain what's happening.
That's your
today.
own industry you're talking about.
Exactly. But the industry is very good at what it does. So for 50 years, a half a century, everybody sold into an individual buying center or a silo. Finance, HR, sales, development. So now what you have is an unintegrated enterprise. So if you're a CEO right now, you're looking down to use AI, you're like, well, wait a minute, my people are swivel chairing between 17 applications a day, costing them almost 1/3 their productivity. Why? Why do you need to change? Because you can. And a lot of them don't know that.
But does one single device, I'm talking about a laptop or a desktop
No, but let me explain.
fix that?
Let me explain. It's not about a laptop or a desktop. It's about integration. 85% of the projects today in digital transformation fail to deliver an ROI for one single reason: integration. So we are that, as Ed Jen-Hsun would say, the AI operating system for the enterprise that integrates the past but invents the future. So Nvidia, Dell Technologies, they're the future. We all have to still integrate the past. Jensen even said, on-premise is cool again. So what companies have to do is enable AI, but you have to do it by dealing with the past also. And I think simultaneously, if I was in a CEO situation and not working for ServiceNow, I'd have a co-pilot, I'd have Now Assist, I'd have the Nvidia stack running everything, and I'd be using Dell Technologies across the enterprise. And you know what? I'm doing that.
You are doing it, but I grew up with Dell computers, right? And I'm talking about me playing Age of Empires, CD-ROM, that Dell computer.
Right.
Convince me and millions of people around the world that they have a place for the AI PC in their lives. You had 5 models, right? And that's quite a lot of choice for first gen of a nascent technology. You might disagree.
All our new PCs will be AI PCs, right? And the reason is that anything that you're doing that has an edit prompt is going to be sped up because every software developer in the world is figuring out how to use all this new power in the GPUs and the NPUs in these new AI PCs.
Neural processing units for the
exactly.
initiated.
So that experience will be better. So when your PC is now 4 years old, it's time for you to get a new one, right? You're going to want the one that speeds up those new capabilities. And inside your company, they're going to want to make sure you have that they don't want to buy a machine that's going to last for several years that doesn't have that capability.
Jensen, where is Nvidia's place in the AI PC? I know you as gaming. That's, again, I grew up with the gaming side of Nvidia.
Yeah.
Do you have a place in the AI PC market?
Come back next year.
Exactly. There are a bunch of Nvidia GPUs and Dell PCs, and Dell workstations. All of our GPUs have the same tensor cores that are running in H100s in the cloud. And so every one of our GPUs use AI to do its work. AI, of course, is going to transform gaming. All the NPCs, the non-player characters, they're going to be chatbots.
Think about development time, how it will be cut, for example.
Creating worlds is going to be easier. Instead of instruction-driven computing, it's now intention-driven computing. So it's easier to write programs. Python programs will be even easier to write. Video conferencing will be a lot better because of it. Yeah.
But what you did with Blackwell and other products is you innovated by saying, okay, let's combine GPU with CPU. Is that the next iteration for you in AI PC? You go, okay, here's the NVIDIA CPU that goes with it.
We want to support every CPU the world makes. And there are places that want x86, we support x86.
Yes.
There are places that prefer ARM, we support ARM. We just went to ISC, and the top most energy efficient supercomputers in the world are now powered by Grace hoppers. And so wherever it makes sense, we'll support the right CPUs, but we'll support every CPU.
Let's talk about the US leadership side of this. With 3 American CEOs, is that news, frankly, in and of itself, that across all parts of the supply chain, they are American companies that are leading, Michael Dell?
I'm not really sure that it's news, because it's been, the U.S. has been leading in innovation for quite some time. But it's certainly a great thing for the United States and the U.S. economy to have, great companies like Nvidia and ServiceNow and Microsoft, here driving innovations, driving productivity and efficiency, and the world requires these new technologies to enable everything.
You talked on stage about your experience of the supply chain, your global experience of doing business, but do you see the same investment in Europe, Latin America, Southeast Asia, as you do in the United States on both the corporate and public sector side?
It's coming. Jensen and I spent a lot of time talking about this and how it's expanding out, and we're seeing, you saw an example from South Korea on stage,
yes,
right, with Samsung. You see this in the Middle East. You see it in sovereign AIs that are being built up. And, for a country to encapsulate its own culture and language and beliefs, that's happening in every country in the world.
Well, Jensen, you and I have discussed sovereign AI in the past. Some recent news being Japan as an example. But I go back to my same question about the durability of this market, moving beyond the hyperscalers to see big commitments at the nation-state level. Again, is today's news an indication that happens because of AI factories, or are they running 2 separate paths?
No country can afford to outsource its intelligence on first principles. Every country has its native natural resource called its language, its culture, its intelligence. And now people realize that because their country's data is part of their natural resource, not just the copper mines and the gold or the lithium or whatever it is, it's also the data is also part of their natural resource, and they have to make sure that they harness that natural resource and transfer it into artificial intelligence. In order to do that, they need AI factories in every single country. It's also the case that many countries have excess power.
You mean energy?
Energy. Power. Excess energy. And so that excess energy ought to be translated into intelligence. And this new industry, this industry of producing intelligence, is one of the greatest opportunities I've ever seen. One of the things that you were asking about earlier about how quickly AI will be adopted, it is far easier to interact with a computer that understands your intention, what you want, because it's intelligent, than it is to program the computer one line of instruction at a time. The world has very few experts in C++ and C, but the world has many people who knows how to converse and ask somebody for help, and now you could interact with the computer in that very natural human way.
Tesla really
focused. And so we've really lowered the bar
Let me
for
ask
computing.
We're running out of time, gentlemen, but Jensen, overnight, we had a new Taiwanese president sworn in. You've told me your position on China, but you both talked on stage about how global this is. You're still quite dependent on TSMC to manufacture your chips. Do you still focus on what's happening in Taiwan, what's happening in China? You've been very clear about your product side with China, but still geopolitically, US leadership impacts a key market.
Well, Taiwan is at the epicenter of the world's technology supply chain. Without Taiwan, it would be very difficult for Michael and I to do our jobs. It would be very difficult for us to serve Bill and his company. And so the technology industry depends very heavily on Taiwan and continues to for some time.
Let's end on energy and power. People are conscious about it. Bill, we talked about your infrastructure investment. We talked about maybe AI PC upgrade cycle, but your costs. Does it keep you up at night? That's a classic question, isn't it?
Well, I think it's all about the returns that you get on the investment. if we weren't expanding our margin profile and growing our revenues at a record clip, it'd probably keep me up. But we are, because the AI revolution is the biggest market we've ever sold into. I do want to make a couple points. One is, it's very important what you started out the interview with, the openness. So with LLMs, we have a policy where any customer doing their own LLM or working with another large language model, they can bring their own to ServiceNow and fully integrate it into the platform. I want that on the record because this openness is a key part of our overall strategy. Why does that matter? Because of the globalization effect. If you look at NEOM, we're doing a smart city in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. If you look at our great brand ambassador, Idris Elba, we're now going to build a smart city together in Sierra Leone. And all over the globe, public sector, private sector, all these industries are changing all at once. I gave the Schwartz Group example because they're running a great company in Germany, #1 retailer in Europe. Everything is being reinvented in that company by AI. So please know, Ed, this is not like a little thing. This is the biggest thing any one of the three of us have ever seen in our lifetime.
That's a pretty intense place to end it. Michael Dell, Chairman and CEO of Dell, thank you for hosting us here in Vegas. Jensen Huang of Nvidia, Bill McDermott of ServiceNow. Thank you. Back to you guys in New York.